Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. These powerful words by Martin Luther King Jr. have transcended time and context. They are more than a reflection of history. They are a living guide to how we can face challenges, overcome hatred, and build a future filled with hope. Before we dive deep into this journey, take a moment to reflect. Do you want your life to radiate light, positivity, and resilience? If yes, stay with me until the end of this video, because what you'll discover here can truly shift the way you see yourself and the world around you. And don't forget, your engagement matters, so like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and share it with someone who might need this message today. Now, let's begin by understanding the heart of this quotation. When Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about darkness, he was not talking about the absence of light in a literal sense. He was speaking about the forces that weigh humanity down: hatred, anger, fear, prejudice, ignorance, and violence. These forces are like a thick fog, blinding us from seeing clearly, trapping us in cycles of pain and conflict. And yet, people often try to fight darkness with more darkness. They respond to hate with hate, to insult with insult, to injury with revenge. But history has shown us again and again that this only multiplies pain. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, it only makes the night deeper. On the other side of the quote is light. What is light? Light is not just brightness. It is a symbol of hope, kindness, truth, love, compassion, forgiveness, courage, and knowledge. Light reveals what is hidden, it clears the fog, and it opens a path forward. When MLK said that only light can drive out darkness, he was giving us a universal principle. Only love can heal hatred. Only education can cure ignorance. Only courage can overcome fear. And only forgiveness can break cycles of revenge. Think for a moment about your own life. Have you ever faced a situation where someone wronged you, where your instinct was to retaliate? That desire for payback may feel natural, but if you've ever acted on it, you probably noticed that the problem didn't really disappear. It often got worse. Maybe the relationship was damaged, maybe more resentment grew, or maybe you ended up feeling just as hurt as before. That's because adding darkness to darkness doesn't bring resolution. Only light, the willingness to respond differently, to choose patience, kindness, or understanding, has the power to break the cycle. This is not to say choosing light is easy. In fact, it is often the hardest path. Anger feels powerful. Revenge feels satisfying in the moment. But the light choosing forgiveness, compassion, and constructive action requires strength, discipline, and vision. It asks you to rise above instinct and step into purpose. And here lies the first lesson of MLK's message. Light is not weakness. It is strength. It is the power to transform. Let's expand this beyond individual relationships. Consider society. When communities face inequality or injustice, it is tempting for those who are oppressed to respond with anger and destruction. But history shows us that violence often breeds more violence, and hatred fuels deeper hatred. Martin Luther King Jr. himself faced tremendous hostility, threats, and even violence. And yet, he insisted on leading with nonviolence, because he understood that the cycle of darkness could only be broken by the persistence of light. His leadership illuminated a path where love and justice could stand stronger than hate. Now, let's translate this into our modern world. Social media, for instance, has amplified voices of hate, anger, and division. When one opinion collides with another, the instinct of many is to strike back with sarcasm, insult, or hostility. This digital darkness can spread rapidly, dividing people further. But imagine if more people chose light in these moments, choosing respectful dialogue, empathy, or simply not fueling negativity. That light could slowly push back the shadows of division. In your personal growth journey, the same principle applies. Darkness might appear in the form of self-doubt, fear of failure, or negative self-talk. If you fight these inner battles with more negativity, By criticizing yourself harshly or comparing yourself constantly, you feed this cycle of darkness. Instead, light must enter. Affirmations, encouragement, patience, and small acts of courage. By shining light on your inner struggles, you reclaim the power to move forward. Now let's pause for a moment. If what we've discussed resonates with you so far, I encourage you to take action right now. Hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing what light means to you, and subscribe to this channel for more content that uplifts and challenges you to grow. Your participation not only supports this channel, but also spreads the very light we are talking about today. Together, we can build a community of encouragement and growth. Returning to our theme, one of the most powerful aspects of light is that it multiplies when shared. A single candle can illuminate a dark room, and from that candle, thousands of others can be lit without the flame ever weakening. This is the nature of kindness, of hope, of love. When you share positivity, it doesn't drain you, it expands. You become part of a chain reaction, sparking hope in someone else who then carries it forward. This is how real transformation happens, not through cycles of retaliation, but through the spreading of light. But there is also a warning in this principle. If we do not actively choose to be sources of light, darkness can grow unchecked. Silence in the face of injustice, indifference when others suffer, or neglecting our own mental well-being can all allow darkness to spread. That is why choosing light is not passive. It is active. It requires conscious effort every single day. And that brings us to another important reflection. Light does not eliminate challenges instantly. Darkness often fights back. Choosing light doesn't mean life becomes easy, it means life becomes purposeful. Think about a sunrise. The night doesn't vanish in a second. It gradually recedes as the sun climbs higher. In the same way, when you choose kindness, forgiveness, or courage, you may not see immediate results. But over time, your consistent light transforms the space around you. So, as we close the first part of this exploration, remember this: Martin Luther King Jr.'s words are not just about fighting social injustice. They are about how each of us can live every day. Darkness is everywhere, in our relationships, our workplaces, our communities, and even within ourselves. But so is light. And every choice you make to be patient, to forgive, to encourage, to stand up for truth is a spark that pushes the darkness back. The question is, will you choose to be a bearer of light? Because in the end, that is the only way forward. When we ended the first part of this journey, we reflected on the daily choice each of us must make to contribute to the spread of darkness or to carry the flame of light. Now let's go deeper into how we can live this message in practical ways. How we can embody light in a world that often tempts us toward negativity. And how this choice not only transforms us, but also reshapes the future for generations to come. Let's begin with the personal level. Every person faces an inner battlefield. This battlefield is not made of weapons and armies, but of emotions, doubts, fears, and desires. Darkness takes the form of negative thoughts whispering, "You're not good enough," or fears telling you, "You will fail." If you fight these voices with more self-hatred, if you tell yourself, "Why can't I be stronger? Why am I like this?" you only sink deeper. But if you introduce light in these moments, something shifts. Light here can be self-compassion, reminding yourself that progress is built through effort and patience. It can be courage, deciding to take one small step despite fear. It can be faith in your own potential, trusting that setbacks do not define you. This is where transformation begins, when you choose light within. But being a source of light doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean denying pain or ignoring injustice. Light is not blind optimism. It is clarity and truth. Imagine walking in a dark room. You don't ignore the obstacles. You shine a flashlight to see them clearly and then move carefully forward. That's what it means to bring light into your struggles. It's not about avoiding reality, but about seeing it with clarity and courage. Now let's look at relationships. Human connections are some of the most fertile grounds for both light and darkness. Misunderstandings, betrayals, or disappointments can easily pull us into resentment. But think of the power that forgiveness holds. Forgiveness does not erase what happened. It frees you from being chained to it. It allows light to enter where bitterness once lived. Or consider encouragement. A simple, kind word can change someone's day, even their life. Have you ever had a moment where you were on the edge of giving up, and one person's belief in you made all the difference? That is the power of light in relationships. This applies to workplaces too. Imagine a team where negativity dominates, where blame, gossip, or fear of failure rule. That workplace feels heavy, draining, and unproductive. Now imagine a team where leaders model encouragement, where mistakes are treated as opportunities to learn, where people lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. The difference is night and day. Light creates an environment where creativity, growth, and resilience thrive. But here's the challenge. Choosing light often feels like swimming against the current. Darkness can spread faster because it appeals to our instincts. Anger erupts more quickly than patience. Judgment feels easier than understanding. That's why being a bearer of light requires intention. You don't drift into kindness by accident, you choose it. You don't stumble into forgiveness, you decide it, even when it's difficult. This conscious decision is what sets apart those who merely exist from those who inspire change. At this point, I want to pause and invite you again to take action. If this message resonates with you, let's spread light together. Comment below with one way you plan to be a source of light this week, whether that's forgiving someone, encouraging a friend, or even speaking kindly to yourself. Share this video with someone who may be struggling in the dark right now, because your small action could be the spark they need. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to join this journey of growth and strength. Together, we are building not just a channel, but a movement. Moving forward, let's consider how this principle applies on a global scale. The world today faces enormous challenges: conflict, inequality, climate crises, and more. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to believe that individual light cannot make a difference. But history proves otherwise. Every movement for justice, every revolution for freedom, every wave of change began with individuals choosing to shine their light. One person refusing to remain silent. One person extending compassion where there was none. One person choosing peace over revenge. These sparks multiplied until they became flames that transformed nations. This is the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. himself. He was one man, facing a world of entrenched racism, hostility, and violence. Yet he believed so firmly in the principle of light that his leadership inspired millions. And his influence continues decades later, reminding us that one flame can ignite countless others. You might wonder, what can I do? I'm just one person. The answer is simple, yet profound: be the light in your sphere of influence. You may not control governments, but you control your words. You may not change entire systems overnight, but you can change how you treat the people around you. Your kindness may heal a broken heart. Your courage may inspire someone to rise again. Your forgiveness may mend a relationship that could have ended in bitterness. And as each of us lives this truth, we create a ripple effect far larger than we realize. But let's also acknowledge something important. Being light does not mean allowing yourself to be mistreated or silent in the face of injustice. Sometimes light takes the form of resistance. Sometimes it is the courage to say, "This is wrong," but to say it with dignity and integrity, not hatred. Light does not mean weakness, it means strength under control. It is power guided by love. Consider resilience. Life will bring storms, setbacks, and losses. Darkness will always try to creep in. But light says, "This is not the end. I will rise again." Think of the people who have faced unimaginable pain and still emerged with kindness, with hope, with determination to help others. Their stories inspire us because they remind us that light is possible even in the darkest places. Now, as we bring this journey to a close, let's return to the words of Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Let them echo in your mind, not just as a quotation, but as a call to action. Every time you face anger, ask yourself, how can I bring light here? Every time fear whispers to you, ask, what courage can I choose now? Every time you see division, ask, what bridge can I build? This is how you live as a bearer of light. And here's my final invitation to you. If this video has touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it, and subscribe to this channel so we can continue spreading light together. Comment below with the one takeaway you want to carry into your life. Because remember, your voice matters, your light matters, and the world needs what only you can bring. The journey of light is not about perfection, it's about persistence. And together, we can create a brighter tomorrow.